Decision Plus has been and still is a leading stock market service provider. From training to coaching, we cover it all. Try both our software as well as our coaching site, completely free for 10 days without obligation. No credit card is needed to sign up for the trial. The trial subscription will be automatically canceled for you at the end. DecisionPlus.com, your stock market service center. Real-time coaching has been created. We search and classify critical reports and technical movements. You can visualize or hear the best buying and selling opportunities. Get real-time advice all day long and 3 live coaching shows per day. Let us do the work and save your time for trading. Try MarketGurus.tv free without obligation for 10 days in the menus above. Market Vision Plus is the trading companion of so many investors. Make your fundamental and technical analysis easy with Canada's #1 stock market decision-making software. Research, decide, and follow your positions with Market Vision Plus. See the menus just above this program and try Market Vision Plus for 10 days without any obligation after the show. When it comes to day trading, Trader Plus is the right tool. Track 50 quotes simultaneously. Create dozens of quick lists. Display as many as 30 real-time intraday charts at the same time. Watch the action with candlesticks or bar charts as fast as 10 seconds. See the market by sectors. Use the chart models already prepared for you. Try Trader Plus for 10 days in the menu above without any obligation.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Swing Trading Show. Today we're Tuesday, September 8, 2015. The question bar is open, folks. If ever you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Today we have a small rally on the indices, though. If we take a look at the situation here, we have a rally. Well, I'm not saying a rally because I would consider it a rally if ever the indices could get out of their neutral range. So far, the situation on all indices, Dow Jones, SPY, even the TSX, remains a situation where we're all neutral. So all indices are confined within their neutral range. Now I want to show you something here on the SPY, because if we put the SPY on the yearly chart, we can see that this rebound, technically speaking, it's a confirmation of a bullish divergence that we had. Why the bullish divergence? Is because look at here, the graph, as we made a low here on the SPY on August 28th. The histogram was around there, while this one here was slightly higher than August 28th, while the histogram was lower. So usually when this quote here was higher than this one on August 28th, we were supposed to have the histogram higher, but the histogram was lower. So that is a clear bullish divergence because the graph is not making a new low while the histogram is. So that confirms that the wave of buyers is going to come in, and due to that we had a technical rebound on the SPY. But this rebound is not strong enough to bring neither any sectors into a bullish cycle, neither any movement, a strong movement to say, okay, it's a go for swing trading. So it continues to remain a situation where there's some short positions that are at risk. For instance, just to mention on MarketGurus.tv that you can have access for free for 10 days, there's one short positions that we had, such as a Hilton Worldwide that was recovered as a short around here on September 1st. Now you see here on today's rebound, the stock has reversed its downward trend. So we decided to close that short positions. But overall in our analysis shorts portfolio, even if we have more bearish positions than long positions, we are holding on to most of them except for Hilton Worldwide that we decided to close today because of the rebound. Now, there are one particular sector, I think that, the resources sector that made an attempt to start bullish momentum or to resume their bullish momentum. So far, this has been a failed attempt. We still have the resources such as the energy sector, such as the mining sector that continue to remain neutral. For day trading, it has been tough, but there have been some opportunities for day trading on these sectors. But throughout the day, though, what we have had, a lot of stocks that were active at opening, finally a wave of sellers came out, and now the stock is stabilizing. So it's the case in a lot of day trading opportunities on a lot of indices. You see here in the energy sector, we thought we had a clear confirmation of a bullish momentum. Finally, a wave of sellers came. The sector went back down. Same thing too on gold, where, well, actually gold is a little bit more interesting on gold, but the gold sector, if we take a look at the situation here, gold is staying flat and the gold sector is just stabilizing, right? I'm not saying that right now on gold it's a moment to buy some gold stocks, because if we take a look at this, we still have the 10-day at 125, the 30-day at 130. We have gold that is totally flat and stable, showing no bullish momentum at all, well, except a rebound, but still a technical rebound that remains fragile, because we could easily broke down this support. And in terms of the stocks, well, there's some stocks like Alamos Gold which are testing their resistance but still unable to break out. Some stocks also like Pretium Resources, but rebound within a neutral range, and same thing too for Data Gold. So it definitely continues to remain a situation where even the resources sector, we have published a full list of all the resources sector on marketgurus.tv on September 3rd, and among that list, though, there's not a lot of stocks that actually started to confirm a breakout, even if we did have some stocks today that are breaking out. Overall, we cannot say that it's a widespread quality breaking out signals that we have today on the markets. In terms of the news, some news concerning China, where the trade balance for China is showing a slight improvement. Actually, imports are lower for the 10th consecutive month, and exports are actually higher. It's a decline, but it's actually a decline that's higher than estimates, and which is something that cannot be explained, especially with the decline of the yuan. And also in Japan, we had the GDP for the second quarter that has been revised lower by minus 0.12%, because they still have lower exports and lower consumer expenses. In the Eurozone, we also had GDP reading that came out slightly higher than estimates, but it's lower than the growth of the first quarter. Now, if you take a look here at some stocks in the resources, though, and the copper sector, we had some stocks like Freeport-McMoRan today that made an attempt to potentially break out, but you see this attempt failed. We stayed totally neutral. However, there continues to be stocks that have to be put on your watch list. Teck Resources as well. Same thing for London Mining. The fact that this staying neutral is still positive, because we are waiting for the next cycle. But the thing is that what the next cycle is going to be. I think a lot of investors are waiting for what the Fed is going to do next week on September 16 and 17. So far, within this neutral formation for swing traders, it remains a tough moment, a tough timing to open any new position, because there's a lot of points to be gained on the upside as well as the downside within the sideways formation. For instance, today markets are surging. The SPY is surging by almost 300. The Dow Jones is surging by almost 300 points. But you see, 300 points indeed, it's exciting, but we're still neutral. So what do you want to do when you have a situation like that where we'll continue to stay neutral? We at least need to go above 16,700 points on the Dow. Now, Mr. Kanye doesn't trust the rise on the mining sector. What do you think of FM and TCK.B? Well, the mining sector, I don't think it doesn't believe in it, but it's mostly that is doubtful that this today's rebound could bring the sector towards 522, right? It's good to have today's rebound here on the sector, but can it be sustained? Can we have a pursuit of this rally? That's the question. Now, do I believe in the mining sector? Well, of course, the data in China are not encouraging in terms of the trade surplus, but it all depends on how the Fed decides, I think, on September 16 or 17, depending on what's their outlook for the economy. Do they expect that the U.S. economy will be strong enough to withstand a rate hike or not. If they believe so, I think some investors might say, okay, we might expect a surge and consumption of resources. See also what's going to happen in China. Are they going to react with a rate hike? So those are all some factors that we have to take into account, but it's tough to tell what the mining sector is going to do. Now, what do I think of FM? Actually, FM is a pretty nice stock. It has been our day trade of the day. Not a lot of entry points, though, except those 210 and First Quantum. Since then, now the stock has stayed flat, though, didn't give us another entry point. The next entry point is at 741. Now, you see here, First Quantum continues to stay neutral. It's not a breakout. It's going to be a breakout higher than 783. But look how volatile the stock can be within that neutral formation. Already surging by 17%, and the stock is only neutral. So this is actually the strategy where you should limit yourself to only day trading. And First Quantum has been our best pick of the day so far. And for me, First Quantum, if you have not opened some positions this morning, I kind of think it's kind of too late. You should wait for now the stock to break 757 to confirm the breakout, to confirm the entry point on that stock. If it does break 757, could easily reach 1071 or first 844. So that's the target that you have on a stock like that. Now, does it have the chance to do that? The wave of buyers is not convincing enough. Yes, we're towards the 30% and 30%, 40% on the stochastics, but I need to see more buyers to bring the stock higher than 757, 760 on a stock like First Quantum, and so far the stock stays flat. So too late to get in now, but tomorrow, if the rally continues, 760 will be the buy. As for Teck Resources, well, Teck Resources, there's a more important resistance. It's $10 that has to be broken out. Between both, I will favor First Quantum, because First Quantum, I believe, is the one that is it's closer to sort of potential breakout as compared to Teck Resources, where there's all that resistance that we have had a lot of problems to break out for the last 2 months on Teck Resources. So for those reasons, I'll favor mostly First Quantum around 760 as a buying signal if the rally continues. But as I said, it remains a moment to only day trade, open some positions right now in the mining sector, and holding on to them overnight, expecting that the rally can continue. I think it's too much of a risky strategy, because even if the stock stays neutral, there's too much loss potential on First Quantum, which is surging by 17% today on its intraday chart.
Find answers to your questions by emailing your host at btm@decisionplus.com.
5 good reasons to manage your investments with National Bank Direct Brokerage. Commission fees fixed at $9.95 anytime for all clients and starting at only $6.95 for active investors. No administrative fees if you hold at least $20,000 in your accounts. Registered accounts available in U.S. currency. Powerful tools to help you manage your portfolio. Award-winning customer service and satisfaction levels amongst the highest in the industry. To learn more, visit nbdb.ca or call us now.
Real-time coaching has been created. We search and classify critical reports and technical movements. You can visualize or hear the best buying and selling opportunities. Get real-time advice all day long and 3 live coaching shows per day. Let us do the work and save your time for trading. Try marketgurus.tv free without obligation for 10 days in the menus above.
So welcome back, folks. So we have one question here from Chad. When day trading, how do you know when to sell so you don't sell too soon? For instance, you bought WCP today at 11.04, stood at 11.18, and now at 11.49. Thanks, Chris. Well, that's $1 million question, Chad, because that's actually a challenge that I personally have sometimes, and a lot of the traders do have. So there's no magic formula to know when is the exact timing to sell. There's so many factors that you might take into account. Now, concerning what you did, you bought WCP at 11.04. So I have to say you got it at really a great timing. A reversal of this downward trend, breakout on that stock, stochastics are just heading towards the overbought situation. You had some room to go before we reached the overbought situation. Great job. Now, you got out at 11.18. One thing we use to determine when to sell a stock is to actually put on the intraday chart a little bit more data. So that's a 5-minute chart. Now let's put, let's say, 30-minute, right? So if I put 30-minute on that chart, so you saw that 1118 around this area. What was 1118? 1118 almost corresponded to this resistance that was tested many times on WCP. So when you saw that the energy sector around this area started to have a decline, you saw how WCP and its intraday chart reached an important resistance of August 28th, 31st, September 3rd, and September 4th that has tested many times, and every time it went down, well, this was a criteria for you to close that position. And I think it was appropriate to do so. Now, it's unfortunate that since then, the stock has pursued its rally. Usually one thing I use is stochastics, but this was not a credible indicator because while the stock was pursuing its rally, you see the stochastic was able to maintain itself within the overbought situation. So if you have held up to Whitecap Resources, well, potentially you could have taken some profits higher. But right now, if we take a look at the daily chart on that stock, we see that the 50-day moving average around 1150 could not be broken out. So maybe one thing you could have said to yourself is to say, look, I'm going to take a look at the daily chart. I love how the stock is reversing its downward trend here and its intraday chart. 1118, instead of closing totally that position because it's reaching an important resistance of the last months, I'm going to take at least a profit on a portion of my position. Now, by taking out the chart on a daily basis, I see that the 50-day moving average is around 1150, 1145. So I will hold on to the rest of the positions, and at this point, whenever it tested that 50-day moving average, that's going to trigger the closing of my position. So that might have been a way for you to determine what is the optimal strategy or the optimal timing to close a position like that. But it was tough. If I was in your shoes, definitely I think I would have done the same, especially with markets that are where the number of breakouts intraday cannot last as long. So definitely on Whitecap, I'll be quick to take some profit on a stock like that. And 1118 for me was great timing to get out on a stock like that, even if the profit has not been enough, even if it can be frustrating, Chad, I can understand. But I definitely think that you were disciplined, and whenever the stock confirms a breakout, that will be an opportunity to get in on a stock like that. 1150 is going to be the new breakout on Whitecap Resources. Now, Pat wants to buy WestJet Airlines. What do you think of it? Yes, WestJet is a small... look, WestJet, there's still that downward trend that is there around 25.34. This is the thing I don't like with WestJet. For me, it's still within a downward triangle formation. So I'd like to see the stock stabilizing towards 25.20. But if you have more medium to long-term view, I would say on WestJet, I don't know. I'd like to see the reversal of this downward trend. But one thing you could take into account is that the weak oil prices is something that's positive for airline companies. So WestJet is benefiting from that, of course, right? So on this fundamental factor, getting in within this sideways formation is something that's good. But the risk is that what's going to happen if ever the OPEC meet and decide to cut their production, their supply. This is going to be negative for WestJet Airlines. The other thing you need to take into account with WestJet Airlines is to see what's happening in terms of their occupancy rate. Are they able to continue to make sure that all their flights are booked? And this is something that you have to take into account for a stock like WestJet Airlines. If you see a progression on those numbers, I think this is something that's going to be good. Now, for WestJet Airlines, technically speaking, building up your position right now, it's something that's okay. $23 get out. The risk is that we will stop at 25.42. So for me, the ideal breakout would be around 25.42.26 on a stock like WestJet. But if you're building up your position here on WestJet because of the weak oil prices, because their occupancy rate continues to be strong, I think you definitely have some factors that will allow you to say, you know what, I'm feeling comfortable to get into WestJet and put my exit point not as far towards $23. So for me, it's I cannot give you a clear decision on a clear view on that, but my ideal timing to get into it will be the reversal of this downward trend towards 25.42. But getting in right now, it's also an appropriate strategy with $23 as an exit point. So now for FM, here it is our day trade of the day. Overall, folks, we do have markets that remain calm in the sense that they continue to stay within the sideways formation. For swing tradings, it continues to remain a tough market, which means there are no sectors that are confirming any entry point. So I definitely think that you should continue to stay on the sideline for swing trading. For day traders, some stocks are standing out here and there, but it remains really exceptions. Even First Quantum, which is our day trade of the day, has not been able to pursue its upward momentum since it broke out around 10 o'clock. So it continues to be a timing where you should put more stocks on your watch list, First Quantum, for instance, or Whitecap, for instance, and then see if ever those sectors can confirm a bullish cycle. And if they do, those will be the stocks that will be the best buying signals, because a lot of stocks right now are confirming a long neutral formation, and the longer we stay within the neutral formation, the better will be the cycle that will come out of it. So that said, folks, see you tomorrow on the Swing Trading Show on DecisionPlus.com.